Welcome back to Apps Advice Corner. I'm a random guy that gives random advice to random strangers on the internet, for better or worse. Let's dive in. How not to get mad when someone doesn't answer your texts for a few hours or days. I feel like this is a really common one in society. It's always been a problem for me. I'll always block someone if they take ages to respond. Doesn't sound very mature, which is sabotage friendships for me. Any ideas on how to get over this? Maybe just don't be a dick. Maybe they're busy or something. We'll read some comments from the internet and see what these people think. Here we go. Give them the benefit of the doubt. I always think they can be up to their eyeballs in work, family, or other problems. They'll get back to you when they can. Yeah, what if their dog just died or something? I bet you feel like an asshole then. You really gonna block somebody over not texting you back fast enough? I am 100% willing to bet you are a Gen Zer. Not that I think Gen Z has anything wrong with it, but I do think, I take that back. I'm willing to bet you're a Gen Zer, and here's why. Because you're just impatient as all fuck. Maybe you're not. Who knows? But, damn, man. Come on. I think it's weird when some people expect me to answer back right away. Yeah. If it is nothing important, yeah. Some people just don't like communicating via text messages. This guy right here, absolutely hate using the phone. That doesn't mean they're bad friends. If you need an immediate response to your question, just call the person. Here we go. I'm going to highlight this. Call the person. Pick up the phone. Bing, bong, boom, bong. Still have a dial pad on the phones. Exactly. The older I get, the more I don't like texting. I literally only use it when I'm figuring out where or when to meet a friend. It's usually good for like logistical stuff. Beyond that, it's kind of trash because the context of our communication gets lost in text, right? How you might read something, I might read something a totally different way. So it doesn't really make sense to just be texting about whatever. OP, you need to take a chill pill. I concur. Even when a friend sees your message, they just don't have to respond right away. You're right, they don't. It's a free country. They don't have to respond at all. For example, they want to chill and look at TV. They just got from work, I'm going to say home from work. They don't want to talk, etc. It's important to realize we're main characters only in our story and not everyone else's. That's a good one. Your friends are not NPCs. They're not there to just talk to you at a moment's whim. Everybody's got a life, bro. Everybody's the main character in their own story. Bro, dudette, they, them, whichever you prefer. Case closed. Would you expect friends to pay for a homemade meal? This is one from Europe. Not really sure where from Europe, and I'm American, so maybe I have the wrong context, but we're about to try to crack it open. I'm just curious how others in college deal with this. My friend was over today and we cooked at my place. In the end, he asked me if I want some money for it. I said absolutely not because I didn't expect it anyways. It's not like it cost me a fortune. Homemade is a lot cheaper too. He really wanted to pay me, but I refused. I find it quite ridiculous to even think about expecting money from friends for food, especially when I was the one that suggested it. I hope I'm not the only one here that thinks like this. How do you guys deal with this? Excuse me. If the dude wants to give you a couple bucks for food, I just let him give you a couple bucks for food. Or do that or what have you. It's not going to hurt you. This might be a European thing, because I know Europeans find Americans tipping weird. And yeah, it is weird, because it's kind of exploitative. But in America, money runs everything, so I just let him give me a couple bucks for food and move on. Or not. Either way. I wouldn't expect it, though. That's the key. Let's see. Partner asks if they would be getting paid for a mandatory work meeting on their day off. Let's crack this one open. I love reading some anti-work. Will this meeting Monday be paid? No. The reason is to discuss the problems in the kitchen, and your question has just shown me that you don't care about the job, and it's just about earning the money. Dude, you think people come to work for freaking fun? You think I like to get my ass up and go to a job for fun? No, I do it for money. Everybody does it for money. Like Watto says in like Watto says in The Phantom Menace, only money. If you are really not bothered about working, blurt out their name, and have no pride in your job, then you might as well say now and save yourself the trouble of coming in. I just wouldn't say shit. I wouldn't come in after you talk to me like that. I'm a grown-ass adult, man. This is like gross disrespect. I have pride in paid work. I don't see why I should be required to turn up in my personal time to discuss your problems. Yeah, pay me. It's company time, right? We're discussing company problems. You need to pay me for that time. It is standard in all other jobs have had to be paid training and meetings. Yeah, it's almost like illegal. And your attitude towards staff does make me realize I don't turn up for anything other than to do my job and get paid. I work my hardest while I'm there, and I got on my hands and knees to clean your restaurant. Get what you pay for at the end of the day. Check Raj and move out. Okay, thanks for your time, and I wish you well in the future. Well, thanks for your time. You're a dick. I wouldn't want to work for you anyways. I wouldn't even give you this exchange. After you gave me this, I'd be like, cool, I won't be there. Case closed. You pay me for my time, or I don't show up. This ain't a freaking charity. Oh, man, I click here to see NSFW. I shared nudes with a guy. I'm a guy, too. Was bi, but I'm straight now. I'm not sure how that has any implication, but whatever. And I'm afraid of him leaking it. Okay, dog, let me break this down for you. If you don't want your fucking nudes shared on the internet, don't take fucking nudes and send them over the internet. Everything that's sent over the internet is logged, replicated, and endlessly stored in servers. You can use the Wayback Machine to pull up pages as they were in the state they were a long time ago. Once it makes it on the internet, it's there forever. There's no getting rid of it. Once you send that text over communication, over the, the little cell phone towers, they're like super unsecure, that can be man-in-the-middle attacked, it's in the air forever. It's literally traveling through the air in packets of data to the cell phone tower, where it is going to be sent to the internet, the ISP, where it's going to be replicated over and over and over. If y'all don't want your freaking nudes leaked, stop taking fucking nudes. There is no face on those photos. Not sure why you're freaking out. It was like 3 to 4 months ago, but I'm still too scared that he might share them. Everyone on my team, or the team, volleyball, hates him, and once he left me on scene, so probably unseen, while we were FWB, we didn't do anything. Dude, FWB, like, come on. You didn't do anything. Something about your story isn't adding up already. And I was mad. Everyone would gossip and chat about him, and I would never... But one time he posted, like, on his Insta, noted, "Don't be shy, text me." And somebody send that in a group chat, I assume. And I replied, "I'm shy, TY, thank you." Use real fucking language, please. He left the team before that, but one dude send that to him. I have his nudes. Also, please advice on what to do. Either you're really young or you're really uneducated. And the fact that you say you're FWBs, but you didn't do anything, kind of makes me think you're lying. And again, going back to point one, if you don't want your shit on the internet, don't put your fucking shit on the internet. If you don't want nudes to be spread around, don't take them. The easiest way to not have your data spread around is not to create it. Case closed. Paying my own way through college at 18. Hey Reddit, I'm currently 16, male, here, USA. Sorry if this is against the rules of this sub, by the way. I want to go to college at 18, electrical engineering preferably, though the extreme expenses seem literally impossible for me to pull off. To use my electrical engineering degree for what I want, I'll have to get at least a master's degree. Thankfully, I have a lot of college guaranteed transfer credits under my belt. Enough to shave 2 years off my college career, but it's still 4 years minimum to get my degree. Okay, if you want your degree, why are you complaining about it? I currently have nothing saved. I could see that being an issue. When I'm 18, I will be on my own financially, though thankfully, I will have a relatively reliable, paid-off car for myself. You are ahead of most other people, my friend. I applied for multiple jobs a short bit ago, but haven't gotten one yet. I plan to save all the money I make, but it will hardly make a dent in what I need for tuition. And to make things worse, besides food and rent, I have a medical problem that requires $200 to $300 a month to keep myself from dying. So your parents are just going to dump you on the street with this medical issue to die? Bro, what the hell? I have no idea how to go about paying for college. I do not want to get any loans. That's a smart idea. You don't want to buy a house without actually buying a house. It's crazy, right? The average cost of college just keeps going up and up and up. The only thing I can think of is taking a gap year or two to work and save. I don't know what kind of jobs I can get that will get me enough money to pay for all that school in a short amount of time. None these days, unless you already got like a really good skill. I'm considering living in a car, but even then, it'll still be near impossible. If anyone has advice, please help. Thanks in advance. Depending on what your medical condition is, the only thing I got for you is go join one of the services. Show up to the recruiter's office and say, hey, I'm ready to ship out on the next thing smoking. They'll give you the drawers that you need to wear, they'll give you the shirt to put on your back, and they'll give you training, and they'll give you money, and you get the GI Bill. Other than that, I really don't know, dude. I really don't know. You need to figure out your living situation first, and then maybe you go to community college for a couple of years and finish up that way. It's a tough one. Alright, workout. What's the difference between reverse lunges and Bulgarian split squats? Can someone help me understand the difference with these two workouts? They are fairly similar, except the Bulgarian squat, one foot's elevated. What's the difference? Well, one is a lunge in reverse, and one is where your foot is elevated on the bench. You already answered it. They're fairly similar, except the Bulgarian squat has one foot elevated. The difference is probably in the minor muscles you're targeting, but overall, they're probably almost about the same. Let's see what the internet has to say. So, the difference between any lunge or split squat is the actual movement. Okay, we already covered that. A lunge, you're going from feet together and moving the foot back or forwards to the side each rep. Split squats begin and end with the feet in the same position. With a lunge, you still lunge, and with a split squat, you just go up and down, no moving of the feet, if that makes sense, small detail. Essentially, you're getting the same type of workout for the muscle, just probably working different minor stabilizing muscles. Not really a big deal. Do which one you prefer. Move on. Case closed. At this point, wearing Star Wars merch is like wearing McDonald's merch. Bruh. It's so many people who self-identify as Star Wars fans because they grew up with them. Yeah, big deal, all of us did. It doesn't make you special. Never said it did. And Star Wars has always been overexposed and corporate. But in the last 10 years or so, it's become ridiculous and meaningless. Like they're wearing shirts that just say, me like food. Like, yeah, no shit. With 7 billion other people. It's not about liking Star Wars. It's about making yourself a walking billboard for $1 trillion company. Look, dude, I like Star Wars. And if I want to wear a fucking Star Wars shirt, I'm going to do so. The first movie I ever saw was Empire Strikes Back. And the first time I saw that fucking X-Wing blow up with Big Dark Lighter in it, I was hooked, man. Love Star Wars. I'm sorry you don't like Star Wars. I do agree it's become absolute trash, except for maybe Andor is a good one that I like. Any of the newer films besides Andor and Rogue One, garbage. Wouldn't watch them. But yeah, dude, it's not at all like wearing McDonald's merch to me, because I don't really like McDonald's. And also, I can't watch McDonald's on the big screen. McDonald's doesn't entertain me. McDonald's feeds me. And not even that, because I don't even eat there that much. So this opinion, our unpopular opinion, probably is an unpopular opinion. Here's my advice. If you don't like it, don't wear it. Game over. How not to be the target of bullying at work. I'm the type of person who's a good worker, but I'm quiet and I keep to myself. For some reason, I am always a target for bullying. People always talk behind my back or try to take advantage of me. I have been sexually harassed. Right now, I'm going to highlight this. I'm going to highlight this whole thing. Right now, I found a job that treats me well, but I want to advance my career and look for something else. I'm just scared of leaving a place that treats me well and possibly going back to another toxic workplace where I'm the target again. So are you currently being bullied, or are you scared of going into a place like that? Here's the thing, you can't be scared of the future. If you're going to be scared of the future, I mean, you might as well be scared of your own shadow. The future's coming, whether you like it or not. You're scared of leaving a place that treats you well and going back to another toxic workplace, then don't. That's an easy fix. Vet the workplace before you go in there. Look around, talk to people. You can usually tell what's a toxic workplace just by the expression on someone's face when you walk in the door. I'm the type of person who's a good worker. I believe you probably are. But I'm quiet and keep to myself. This is probably a problem. You determine how people are going to treat you by how you allow them to treat you. So if you let them bully you and talk behind your back, they're going to do so. So maybe when you hear about it, say, hey, if you got something to say it to my face. Or don't speak on my name at all. Or try to take advantage of you. Don't let people take advantage of you. Have a limit. Have a boundary, right? I don't really know what they're trying to do, but if they want you to do their work, just look them in the eye and say, hey man, I don't get paid to do your work, I get paid to do my work. Sorry. Walk off. Who cares? As long as you're doing your job, nobody can say shit to you. I have even been sexually harassed. That's the easy fix. Tell them to knock it off. If they don't knock it off, you file a report with HR. If you get retaliated against, you file a report with your state board of labor and you bury their asses professionally. Game over. If you don't work out for 3 days, is it bad? No, not really. If you didn't build it in 3 days, you won't lose it in 3 days. I really want to start building my upper body as well as upping my cardio. My family goes on trips sometimes. It would be kind of hard to work out on these trips, even if said places have gyms. You can always run and you can always do some push-ups and sit-ups. This sounds like you are trying to make an excuse. If you are dedicated, you will find a way. They usually just have cardio machines, and on my trip, I would not start a sentence with and. So we'll just skip this. On my trip, am I really going to want to be working out? I can't answer that question for you, dude. Do you want to be working out or not? Do I want to be drinking this beer? Absolutely. So I'm going to drink this beer. See how that works? So would 3 to 7 days of rest be bad? Not necessarily. Would it make me lose all my muscle? No. Depending on how much you're working out. But I mean, 3 to 7 days? I mean, come on, dude. Let's look at Arnold Schwarzenegger. If you think that fool stopped working out for 3 to 7 days, he would lose muscle. Maybe like the most minuscule amount. But that joker is jacked like a mofo. That muscle ain't going nowhere. One more, then we'll close it out. Want to know why we can't have nice things? Look in the mirror. Here's a TikTok one. Let's put on the old headphones for this one. Alright, baby, send it.
That it's very embedded into our culture. So what I mean by that is that...
Okie dokie. After fighting with this thing for like 5 minutes, unrecorded time, let's dive in.
That it's very embedded into our culture. So what I mean by that is that the amount of solidarity...
In America, it is very common for us to other each other, and it is the reason we can't have nice things. Different cultures have different levels of collectivism versus individualism, and the more collectivist you are, the more you're going to see your fellow neighbors or your fellow humans as like you. And in America, we love to see everyone as different from us. And the thing about different is as soon as you can tell someone, or you can tell yourself that you're different from someone else, you can tell yourself that you're better than them.
Everybody's a special fucking snowflake, aren't they?
We're very egocentric creatures. It is natural for us to want to try to think of reasons why we are better than people that we deem as different from us.
Newsflash, nobody's better than anybody.
So that is going to look like a bunch of different things depending on what you personally value. So if you're a doctor, you might be like, oh, I'm a doctor, so I'm better than I'm smarter than everybody else. Or I'm a bodybuilder, so I have more willpower than everybody else. Or I'm a laborer, so I'm stronger than everybody else. However you deem that to be better.
Now, some of these points I can understand. If you're a doctor, maybe you are smarter than everybody else. Maybe you went to school for longer than everybody else. If you're a bodybuilder, you got to have some kind of willpower for that, right? It's not like it just falls in your lap.
And as soon as you decide that someone is objectively worse than yourself, you can rationalize them deserving less. Whether that's less pay, less rights, whatever. They start to be less human than you. And the elite class has used this forever to divide us. This goes all the way back to Jim Crow when black people started getting rights, and white people, poor white people, greatly outnumbered rich white people. So rich white people started saying like, hey, you don't want that other person who's not like you and less deserving of nice things to have nice.
On this, she's absolutely correct. She's hitting the nail right on the fucking head. A lot of the problem with society, and it's beyond just black and white people, right? It's the gay people, straight people, cis people, the LGBT crowd. I mean, all these different group identities, they're toxic to each other. You want to know why? None of them are right. I'll tell you first off, none of them are right? Because they all do the same shit. They other each other. And really, we're all supposed to be Americans. Let's act like it. At least the ones that live in America.
Things, right? They don't deserve nice things. So you shouldn't let them have nice things. And
this is the playbook of any kind of power structure that's trying to divide and conquer. It's the exact playbook. Make the other person the other guy.
In the attempt to restrict those other people from having nice things, they restricted themselves from having nice things. This is why poor white people vote against their best interests. I can remember living in Norway.
I think that might be because they're a little bit uneducated about what they're actually voting for.
And I was visiting Oslo at the time, and in Norway, everyone has a ridiculously high quality of life, and they all have nice things. And I wanted to put my bag in a locker for the day, and I went down to the lockers, and all the locker workers were on strike, so I couldn't use the lockers. And I was annoyed, and I was like, "Oh, this is so inconvenient." And my boyfriend at the time, who's European, was like, "This is the cost of having nice things. Like, when people strike, we strike with them, and it's a slightly inconvenient, but we know that when it's our time to strike, the workers, we understand that's the price you pay."
I gotta bring up a little bit of history here. It's not that people don't want to strike, people don't want better things. It's that people can't afford to strike. I can't afford to take money out of my family's mouth to stand in solidarity with a bunch of people that may or may not be able to afford that. Beyond that, there's been union busting in this country since the beginning of unions, the Pinkertons and all that. Beyond that, I mean, there's been a couple strikes that were literally busted up by U.S. armed forces. You go back and read about it in history, it's pretty brutal. A lot of coal miners lost their lives that way. They will not allow the railroad to strike. Why did they not allow the railroad to strike? Why did the government step in that says it's pro-union? You know why? Because money, dog.
Hey, to live in a nice society and have nice things. This is how we get nice things. We understand the price. And immediately I was mollified. I was like, I'll just carry my bag all day. I'm not mad anymore. All the people that work in Norway share an identity of, I understand if my neighbor is in a bad boat, it could be me in that same boat tomorrow. And therefore, we all need to make sure that we all have nice things, because we are the
That it's very...
Yeah, it's kind of where it cuts off. She got some points, she got some non-points there.
very embedded into our culture.
I would say overall, we don't have nice things because we just don't care. We're really busy to divide ourselves into camps and be like, hey, fuck the other guy. They're this or they're that. And it's worse and worse and worse with the internet. The internet, Twitter, TikTok is a wonderful tool for people to be able to silo themselves up in these little compartments and be like, I am this and this is my entire freaking identity. Some of y'all need to wake the fucking hell up, man. We don't have long to go if they keep dividing us. Anyways, it's been your boy At from App's Advice Corner. We love to I'm a random guy who gives random advice to random people on the internet, for better or worse. We would love to cover something other than Reddit and TikTok videos all the time. Gonna link my email down below. If you got some kind of value out of this video, do me a favor, go ahead and smash the fucking like button on your way out of here, and stay up.